What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide. We're back. We did pick up some more comics this week. And I'm not spending a whole lot on books right now. As you know, it's budget's kind of thinning. We were able to kind of sell some more books. We've got $20 or so. And that's after the fact that I spent $350 this week. And picked up 9 books. That's pretty good in my estimation. Let me just do the math here. So we spent $350, we got 9 books. It's about 38 cents per book. And I really like what I picked up. So I think in terms of the value, without a doubt, we definitely got the value that we were seeking. So we're gonna just do some grading and talk about the books. Now, when I in our last video I mentioned that I picked up my 298th Jim Lee book. I've got the kind of spreadsheet over here laid out in front of me. So we were very, I said probably in the next haul video, you're going to see number 300. Well, yeah, we picked up quite a bit of Jim Lee books. So we will hit the 300 Jim Lee book milestone in this video. And I'm going to, obviously I picked up 4 Jim Lee books technically. So I just have to decide of the 4 books that we picked up, which book is going to be quote unquote number 300 in the collection. I just want to kind of, this video is going to chronicle the 300th book, and I'm just going to save that for last because it's going to be our book of the haul. Yeah, it's a big milestone for me. So we're going to be at the end of this video, we're going to be at 302 Jim Lee books. And I forgot to mention that I hit 500 subscribers a while back, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you who subscribe to this channel. I don't do anything flashy on my channel. I just sit in my room and go over all the books I get and talk about my era of collecting, because I collected from around 80, I want to say 84, 85 through probably 97, 96 or 97. So, it wasn't I didn't stay in the hobby and just continue to collect. I basically collected during the sort of the build up to the 90s boom and got out right when it started to crash. And, but I enjoyed collecting comic books back in the day. And, now that I'm back into the hobby, I really love this hobby. It's, I can really see myself doing it, through retirement, something I'll enjoy in retirement, I think. I met an older gentleman today, actually at Mill Geek Comics. So, I was at Mill Geek again today, picking up some books. So that's why we got, $350 for 9 books. I mean, we'll get into what I paid and where I got them, but I ran into an older gentleman who was digging through the, sort of the reader copy, sort of Bronze Age section they got there at Mill Geek. And he was like, oh, Jonah Hex. You could tell the guy knew his comic books. And so we just talked a little bit, uh, you know, um, that I kind of saw my future. Like that's kind of what I think I would be doing. Like, just strolling in a comic book shop on a Friday. I mean, I'm doing it now, obviously, but when I'm not, um, when I have more time on my hands to just enjoy um, free time, I think you'll see me probably spending that retirement money um, on books every week or so. And hopefully, like that passion for what I collect will sustain itself or maintain itself. And so I'm just really not in a rush to pick everything up. Or I don't even want to pick everything up. I do really want to have sort of a real uh, stick to what I like. I think that's what's important. So for me, picking up doubles and stuff of what I like isn't necessarily. I don't look at it as a bad thing now. Obviously, space is an issue, but we'll get to what we plan to do with you know the overflow books. All right, so let's get to what we got. And you'll have to forgive me. I'm probably going to cough, and I've just been feeling under the weather. Our whole family has. I think we came down with something. It's a combination of allergies and just coughing and feeling miserable a little bit. So I'm going to probably just cough throughout the video. I'm going to have a cough drop as well. All right, so we're going to go through the books first, and then we'll talk about the grade. We'll grade the books, and we'll go from there. So the first book. Oh, Miss Sobe, what's up? Great to see you. I hear you're kind of revamping the channel. You're gonna create a new channel. Excited to see what you have planned. Should be exciting. Go check out Miss So, Nocturnal Miss So. Go give her a follow and a like. Okay. Again, we'll see. I'm excited to see what you have in store. Okay. Again, 9 books for $3.50. Again, about 40 cents a book. And this one we actually got free. It was in the quarter bins, kind of sitting there without a bag and a board, no sticker. But I figured the worst they could do is charge me $2, charge me a quarter, or give it to me for free. So I took it up there, and just to see what would happen. And the guy just like, we're not even supposed to sell these because they're technically free comic books. So I'm not sure if every store has the same policy, but in Redmond, if you run into a free comic book, just take it and they'll give it to you. They'll just give it to you for free. And that's what we got. Got a free All-Star Superman. This is the same. This is the full version of the book. Frank Quitely, Grant Morrison. This is sort of the special edition free version. I actually like this cover a lot better. Just a better cover. But yeah, I'll pick that up for free. You know me, I won't turn down free Superman. This next one, I did the whole hairdryer thing and took the sticker off. So there's a little sticky, we'll get into it. There's a little stickiness on this one. But other than that, it's a really nice condition book. It's also John Byrne Super Action Comics. I've kind of been on that kick right now, trying to pick up like John Byrne more, focus on all the John Byrne DC sort of Superman stuff. And that's what we have here. We have Superman Action Comics Annual number 6. This is an Elseworlds. This is sort of DC's version of What If. You know, it's not really sort of continuity type stories. It's sort of just like their own little multiverse type chapters. And this one involves Kal-El's grandfather. So Kal-El was sent to Earth, and he's grown up in multiple generations, and then he ends up, being an adult during the American Revolution, as the country was forming, like its constitution and all that. And his grandfather, I guess, comes and just decides he's going to be king of the American colonies. And anyway, I have to read it. I just kind of perused through it. It does look very interesting, but it's like, again, colonial Superman, I guess, American colonial Superman, and really cool. Again, the internal, it's a John Byrne story. It's John Byrne artwork. It's kind of like John Byrne did it all. And then there's a secondary story. But again, I just really like this Mike Mignola cover with, again, that's, I think, Superman's grandfather there, ripping up the colonial flag. Beautiful John Byrne art in this one. So yeah, picked it up for $1. Was happy to do so. And anytime you can pick up John Byrne Superman, you can pick it up for cheap, which, we got another one right here. This is Action Comics $5.98. We picked up $5.99, I think, in the previous video. We got $5.98, and this is one of those nuclear Holocaust videos, or covers. It's the first team appearance of Checkmate. That's the key of this. But again, just a great Byrne cover there. Got this nuclear detonation happening in the background. Nice red cover. Yeah, this is just a cover by, essentially. But yeah, I want to pick up more of this specific run by Byrne. It's only about, I want to say like 11 issues or so, maybe 15 issues. But and there's nothing really special about the run. It's sort of, I mean, there's a couple of keys, but nothing that, I mean, there's issue 600, which is the milestone issue, and we want to get that one as well. I don't think Byrne did the cover on that one. I have to kind of verify. Someone else might have done the cover, but these Byrne covers on Action Comics are just, for me, they're just money for me. So another money book. This just instantly becomes, I think, one of my favorite Superman covers. I'm gonna have to see where it ranks among the others. All right, yeah, we got this for 50 cents. This next one, we really lucked out. um, because it was in a bag and board. They put the sticker, you know how they usually put the sticker on the book. This one was on the bag and board. So this is didn't have to remove any stickers or anything for this book, but we paid it 25 cents for it. And this is sort of like a gray area. Um, and I'm going to put it to the community whether you think I should, if this is a Jim Lee book or not. This book came out in 1998, and it was really published. It was like an 8-part miniseries. And it was published because Jim Lee had put out a card game that was the equivalent of like, I think Magic the Gathering, or one of those like one of those card games that are popular. But it was like Jim Lee's version of that card game, and he built a whole sort of like universe around it, and that's what this is. It's called C23. It's Jim Lee's C23. Got this awesome Travis Shawrest cover, just sick cover right there by Shawrest. Love Shawrest work. But yeah, this is technically not a Jim Lee book, meaning he and Brendan Choi created the sort of universe around this game, but it was actually written by Jeff Moriarty, and it was, this is actually, I think, Paul Lozano's first artwork in comic books, and he did the interior artwork on this book. But yeah, technically, like, not Jim Lee didn't do anything in the book, but his name is there. So I was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't initially on my wish list, but I figured, I'm not going to pick up C23. Like, I'm not going to pick up this run. If anything, I'm just going to have this first book. And again, because it's, it says his name on there, we got to make it a Jim Lee book. But what really sells this book for me is the awesome Shawrest cover on there. So I don't mind having this in the collection at all. And we'll just put it, even though there's no Jim Lee art or anything in writing or anything in there. And this is a universe he created with Brendan Choi. So for me, I would just classify it as one of his books. So it's, again, one of the Jim Lee books that we added as part of this haul. All right, the next two are these ones I think I mentioned last week when I was at Millgate the week previous doing the haul. I said I left a couple books that I probably should have picked up, just 50 cents each, like $1. I went back there and we picked them up. So we got Alpha Flight 61. This is early Jim Lee artwork. Again, he's doing everything in the book, cover to interior art. It's really early stuff. This was, in fact, he dates this cover. It was produced on December 30th of 1987. Really early stuff. Kind of get a sense he's like, drawing a lot probably during this period and just picking up all the little, tricks of the trade from all the senior Marvel guys. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So 61 we picked up, and 62. This is actually a little bit of a more dynamic cover. Now, we got to talk about Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight debuted in, I think, X-Men, what was it, 120? And was it 120? Yeah, I want to say 120. And they were a huge hit. John Byrne had introduced Alpha Flight in the pages of X-Men. It was the Canadian team, you know, that had a connection with Wolverine because the leader of the Canadian team, Alpha, I'm forgetting his name. It'll come to me. But anyway, the leader of that team was sort of like working with Wolverine because Wolverine was part of the Canadian government's, like super soldier program. And, that's when he goes down and fights Hulk and all that, right? He's as an agent for the Canadian government. So anyway, Byrne brings this fabulous Canadian team in the pages of X-Men. It's really popular. It leads to its own series. And, Byrne is working on the early issues of Alpha Flight. I'd say the first 10 issues are Byrne issues. First 13 maybe issues are Byrne issues. Amazing artwork. Again, he put a lot of passion into those characters. It was really a popular series. And then they kill Hudson. That's his name. The leader of Alpha Flight, they kill him off. Like, I want to say a couple, like 15 issues into the book, something like that. No, 12 issues in the book. Fairly early in the book, they kill him off. And then Byrne leaves Marvel on sort of bad terms. He leaves Marvel for DC. And they kind of have this, like, after he leaves, they just kind of have like these people working on Alpha Flight, like just a random sort of people. And I guess Alpha Flight was kind of like the testing grounds. It's like they couldn't kill the series for some reason. I guess it had some readership or whatever. But Jim Lee comes on in Alpha Flight 51, and kind of takes over the run from, I think, like 53 on or 58 on, somewhere around there. And he's working, he's Al Milgrom is inking him, but he's pretty much got the duties for the book. Now, I think the writer was Bill Mantlo, and nothing against Bill Mantlo. I think Bill Mantlo, at the end of the day, is just a solid creator. But this particular run of Alpha Flight, where they're kind of searching for, Hudson's wife takes over as the leader of Alpha Flight, and this is sort of like this new kind of team emerges. But it's really weak. It's the story is just, it's barely scraping by. Not very good at all. And then I guess it continues to go and evolve and bring in new creators. But Jim does a good chunk of run on it and then leaves for greener pastures. But, this is all kind of stuff he's doing along with the Punisher stuff. And yeah, it's again, it's part of Jim's, career path and learning curve. So that's why we wanted to have the books. But again, not these are not Marvel's like best books by any means. But we'll pay 50 cents for them, just to have them. And they again check the marks. So I'm not going to designate any of these as the 300th book. We're going to save the 300th book for the last book. The next one we ran into for 50 cents is really nice. I picked up a newsstand copy of X-Men 8. Great Jim Lee cover here. This is actually not Jim Lee and Scott Williams, and you can kind of tell it doesn't have that. I don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't have that pop for when Jim Lee and Scott Williams do something together versus, I forget who the inker on this is, but if you know, tell me in the chat. Let's just take a look. I have it up here anyway. 8. It was Art Thibert. Thibert is the is inker on this particular cover. Nothing against Art Thibert, but he's no Scott Williams. But again, newsstand copy of 8. This is our second copy of X-Men 8. I love the Bishop Gambit cover there. Really like classic 90s stuff right now. This entire Jim Lee run is something I think you should just go out and get. Regardless of the animated series or whatever, it's just for Marvel probably the best selling run of a comic book ever. These first 10 whatever issues. And there's a lot of sort of history in this because Claremont and Jim basically set the record on the best-selling comic book, and then Claremont leaves the book, and they bring in was it Lobdell? No, they bring in John Byrne first, and then they bring in Lobdell. I think this is Lobdell, yeah, Lobdell's work. So it's really, while it's like supposed to be the pinnacle of, sort of the X-Men. I mean, if you're just looking at sales and stuff, you're talking about this is like the pinnacle of this titles arc, right? But it's going through a lot of transition. In fact, Jim Lee is only on the book for 10 books. Claremont's gone, Byrne's gone, Lobdell's doing the work. They bring in, Fabian Nicienza to start writing on it. Andy Kubert comes on and he starts working on, he gets the duties. So it starts off really strong and then goes through this like weird transitional period. And then, it turns into what again, Andy does a great job of like riding the ship and kind of creating a path for X-Men Volume 2. And the rest is history. I mean, X-Men, from that point on, X-Men just continued to, be a part of the public consciousness. All right. So yeah, just for 50 cents, we'll pick up a newsstand copy of 8. There are issues with the condition. We'll get into that when we start grading. Now, this next book, I got to give a shout out to 22 Comics. I love that dude, man. He's just such a comic presence on YouTube. The guy's loves comic books, knows his stuff. Really enjoy watching his his content. And you know, a lot of channels, you watch these channels and you can tell that like there's an authenticity about certain like creators, and then there's just something kind of, you know, I'm doing this for the likes, I'm doing it for the follows and all that. um which is fine, you know, like there are people just doing the channel to do the channel, you know. It's like um it's not really about their hobby or anything, it's about like catering to their followers, and they're trying to put out something that's informative, educational, entertaining, funny, and they're doing a lot of like a song and dance and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. And I watch a lot of those channels because they're great channels to watch. But there's sort of a inauthentic piece of that. Like you just don't like, you know, it's sort of like they're acting. They're like, you know, um, portraying something in order to get those views, as opposed to people just being themselves and just, you know, like this is me, you know, I love comic books and it's me. And that's totally what 22 is. He's just this like little down to earth guy. You know, he and his wife like talk about movies and stuff, and you know, they're just a couple of nerds, and I just really appreciate. But he put this, you know, he not that he put the book on my radar or anything, but he just recently featured this book as a free comic. He did a great thing on Free Comic Book Day, books that you want to like pick up, the keys. Um, and he touched upon this book. Now I have two copies of the book already. Um, and the thing about the Free Comic Book Day books is because they're free. I mean, this is a quote unquote, the book price is like $20 for a high grade copy, but you can get these for like $1. They're just so prevalent, and they're not. I don't think they're highly valued in most people's collections. There's a ton of them out there. Um, so I mean, even though it has sort of a like a $20 price tag to it, you should never pay $20 for this book. You'll probably pick it up at half price books for free. If not, you can pick it up at Mill Geek for 50 cents or whatever. I forgot where I picked. I think I might have picked one up for $1. I think I might pick one up for 50 cents. At probably at Mill Geek, the same place. But for whatever reasons, they're usually like not bagged and boarded. They're kind of like in rough shape. So um, both copies that I have, this is actually the better copy, but you can see probably through the bag. There's quite a bit of like wrinkling there, some spine ticks. The back side issue. So I've got two issues here. This is the front, and then this is the back issue. The back issue, I'm not going to take it out, but you can see like it's got visible spine ticks right here. You can see all the spine ticks there. So I have two copies that were less than ideal condition, but didn't care. You know, it's like it was just a cool Jim Lee book. It's the kind of the preview of the New 52 Free Comic Book Day. Really sort of an important sort of book and event back in 2012. Well, today we're digging, and we found a third copy at Mill Geek, and this one is a flawless copy. And when they're flawless like this, you know, this is kind of when you're going to probably be able to command like a $20 ask for the book, because this is just super clean. I mean, we'll get into grading this right now, but I mean, this is like a high grade book. So really like happy to pick up, I can kind of like push these to the side and have this at the forefront of the collection now. But yeah, we picked up our third copy of a free Jim Lee comic book. All right, so now we're to our book of the haul, our 300th, quote unquote 300th Jim Lee book, the commemorative book. And yeah, I really like this book. And it's in really good shape as well. Just a couple issues, I guess, but overall high grade. We picked up Superman Batman 26. This is the variant edition. It's a UK variant edition. So just got this great, Superboy Robin cover here. And you got all these. So you got this great Michael Turner cover, yellow cover. Beautiful Michael Turner cover. I mean, the cover alone would be worth it. But we also have Jim Lee. They do it by alphabetical order here of all the creators that you got. So we got Art Adams, Jeff Johns, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. When do you ever see Rob Liefeld in DC books? So you got Paul Levitz, Jeff Loeb, Joe Madureira. I love him. Joe Madureira's in there. Ed McGuinness, Carlos Pacheco, Tim Sale, Michael Turner, just a bunch. So I love books like this. Love books where, you have just a lot of collaboration on a book. There's just so many instances of this throughout comic books. Oftentimes you see them in annuals where just a bunch of creators like do their little short story. Or you have something like, Batman 400, where everybody comes together and they tell a story, and they all do it in different, they all contribute to different frames of the story, but it's one moving story where you might have a couple, maybe multiple writers, but definitely the artists have their own take on what's happening in that panel of time, and they express it the way they want it. And so you have this just sort of this kaleidoscope of styles and perspectives on a book, and that's what you got here. So I just love books like this. The fact that it's this UK variant, it's a Michael Turner cover, and we've got Jim Lee interiors to boot, that makes this just a really special book. And again, it's high grade as well. So there you go. Superman Batman 26, the UK variant, Jim Lee interior. We're going to get into, show off the Jim Lee page in this book, and just some of the other interior artwork in this, and we'll get to grading all this stuff. So let's see, what should we start with here? Kind of want to save this book for last, so we'll put that to the side, and we'll start with our new 52. Let's start with this one. Really, again, got a really nice. I'm gonna just tilt the camera down now. So I am going to take it out of the bag so we can get a good look at it. Again, it's just really It's a really clean book. You can kind of see sharp corners. Spine is no spine ticks. Just gonna flip it over here. Well, the back needs a press. Back is not as nice. Couple of, I guess, spine ticks, but nothing color breaking. Definitely not along the, well, maybe some minute, very minute issues on the back there. You could see them right there. So we got a couple color breaks, but there is this sort of like, you can kind of see there's sort of like a bend in the book. So yeah, this needs a press for sure. Kind of see it right there. There's a bend right there. Ooh, it breaks color too. It's not good. All right, well, a couple issues, I guess. But the front of the book looks really good. So again, not too bad. Again, the front looks really flawless. Back has some issues. So that's fine. Still better than the 2 previous copies we had. Sharp corners again. Really sharp. Yeah, looks incredible. All right, so yeah, I would put this at a 9. Put it at a 9.2. I think with a press, it could be a 9.4. But as is, we'll say 9.2. Okay, so I'm going to actually just make a note of that real quick. What is this, Free Comic Book Day? Let's say I'm going to put this as a 9.2. All right. That's nice. And let's see the next book. This one has issues. Give me just a moment here. My tape just came off. Gotta put some more tape on. We'll do it after we create the book. All right, so the first issue on this book is right here. There's a little kind of splinter sliver right there. You can see it right there. See it? Not a big deal. It's not that big of an issue. I could probably get some glue right now and just attach it. And that's what we'll do. We'll just attach it with some glue. Because that's what I like to do with my free time. All right, so just gonna pick up some of this wood glue. And I'm just gonna get this edge sticky because I don't think I actually need a lot of glue. Just get it kind of sticky and stick it on there. Again, you don't want to put too much on, but you just want the sliver to kind of stick. Just like that. Boom. I got that edge nice. There we go. All right. That is our repair job, and it's just going to bond to the cover there, and a little more sliver. Okay. So that's a big improvement. It's a big improvement. So let's grade this book. So that was sort of the big issue on this. This does need a press and a clean. Corners are sharp, but as you can see, there's sort of you can see there's like little dimples in the book. I mean, nothing major, but there's like, for example, you can see right here, whenever it's in focus, you kind of see the slight. Anyway, trust me, there's like a little bit of a bend in like a stress line in the book right there. So again, with the press, this would just look fabulous. Again, we got that little sliver attached. Everything, it looks just phenomenal. Could probably use some eraser time here, but the back looks decent. Just needs a press. Press in this book would be 9 or better. Oh yeah, we've got some. Actually, we got a little bit of a crease here in the back. Does break color, but yeah, it breaks color right there. So, I'd put this in with that, I'd put it at an 8.0. Maybe 7.5. Yeah, it's a long crease. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I mean, we're really thinking this could have been the 9.0 area, but that crease isn't going to get us. Put it at 7.5. Not bad though. Again, 50 cents. You can't really. Looks fabulous still. All right, so needs a press. I'm going to put in italics. Need to give this book some attention someday, but for the most part right now, it's a really nice book. All right, just bear with me for a little minute while I get this back in the bag and board. There we go. All righty. Yeah, that crease is problematic. So what could have been a higher grade book has to. We're gonna give 7.5. So it's go like very fine minus, maybe fine plus on this. Still needs a press, but that crease is problematic. All right. So this one is actually a pretty nice copy. I'm going to venture to say it's high grade. Yeah. It's got a little bit of a ding right there. Stress line, nothing but breaks color, so this one needs a press as well. A little bit of a corner issue right there. That I don't even know. It's probably like a manufacturing issue. I don't know if it'd get dinged all that much for that. Let's take a look at the back. Yeah, back looks really nice. So yeah, this is spine. So I put this in. I put this at a 9.4. Well, yeah, I put it at 9.4. It does need a press, but with a press, get a 9.4 easy. On a dark cover like that, that's tough too. So yeah, needs a press. Not terrible. Put it at 9.4. Alpha Flight 61, 62. I'm saying 9.4. All right, this next one though has issues. It's got a little bit of a chunk missing out. This one also needs a press. There's a little bit of a like stress lines there, but as you can see right here, it got clipped and kind of chunk of it kind of just ripped out. So other parts of the book, the corners are sharp. There's a little bit of a ding here, the spine tick, breaks color, a couple more color breaks in the middle. Thinking the back is not going to look, well, the back is actually pretty decent. Some spine ticks there, but nothing major. It's pretty clean. All in all, I'll just say that there's just a lot of little nicks here and there. Could definitely use a press, as you can see right there. That'd get pressed out nicely. So yeah, let's take a look at some of this Jim Lee goodness, early Jim Lee goodness right here. Courtesy of Otaku Tour Guide. There you go. Look at that. Jim Lee, Namor, Thor, She-Hulk. Good stuff. All right. So yeah, well, this grade is obviously with a little chunk missing out of it. I'm gonna put it like a 6.0. Yeah, I'm gonna put a 6.0. I'm gonna put it 5.5. I'm gonna put it 5.5. The chunk is pretty significant. Plus, it has all these little other issues. Even without the chunk, I would say it would be an 8.0. But with the chunk, I think 5.5 is. I mean, it's a really minor chunk, but it's bad nonetheless. All right, but yeah, it does need a press as well. But overall, still good has good eye appeal and all that. So very happy. But yeah, we're gonna make this a graded at a 5.5 with the little chunk piece missing. But definitely is it you know, it looks like a high grade book. Yeah. You know, the perception is a high grade, just got all these little minor to moderate issues. This is high grade. I'm just going to put this at a 9.4. I'm going to bother taking it out. It's high grade. Excuse me. C23, where did I put that? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to just put this at a 9.4. It's a near mint book. Action Comics. I'm hoping this is a high grade book, but we're going to just kind of take it out and see what we're working with here. Again, I just love this cover. Yeah, it's a really clean book. You can see how glossy and shiny and smooth the surface is. Hopefully you can see it through the... I gotta do this, I think. Here we go. Just kind of shine it in the light here. Let's see how smooth it is. Spine is really clean. Super clean spine here. Sharp corners. Yeah, high grade book. I gotta find a way to do this better. I realize, like, I want to do this grade along, but this camera is just so it doesn't like capture the entire frame. First of all, kind of just like go through different sections of the book. Kind of always like finagling the light angle so you get a good idea what the surface looks like, but then not. It's just a big mess. So I'm going to flip it over. We'll see what the back looks like. Yeah, black is very clean as well. There you go. You can see the surface of the book, very smooth. Very few issues with the spine. Really happy with this pickup. Just a nice near mint book. So I'm going to put this at a 9.4 as well. Couple of like stress lines here on the spine, just a couple, but nothing color breaking. So again, just a really clean. Kind of see them. Anyways, not coming through. Put this at a 9.4. Really high grade book. And again, just a great burn issue on Action Comics. I definitely want to pick up more from this run. Okay, so I'm gonna put this at I'll put it at a 9.2. And when we press it out, it should be a 9.4. So for now, I'm just gonna put it at a 9.2. But it's a really nice looking copy. Oh, we got Action Comics, $5.98. And it's from March 1988. You got John Byrne. Let's see the specs on this book. All right, so Ty Templeton on inks and written by Byrne and Kupperberg. Ty Templeton. And we'll say it's a 9.2. We'll go 9. We'll go 9.4. It's really clean. We'll go 9.4. It doesn't even need a press, to be honest. All right. And I'm not going to bother grading this free edition. I'm just going to put an 8.5 because it's got a couple spine ticks here and there. A couple bends in the, I mean, not bends, but like some stress lines in the book. So let's put this at an 8.5. All-Star Superman. Free edition. We'll say 8.5. All right. And we'll get to grading this one. Again, this one's really high grade. It's one of the square bound books. It's got a couple of like dimples right there. You can probably see it. Right there, you see that dimple there. So, I mean, you could improve the press. A little bit of a corner ding there, so it does need a press. Nothing color breaking, but corner's a little, there's a ding on that corner. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can't see it. It's right there though. So again, I got the sticker off. You can see the sticker residue right there, which I'm hoping with time it'll just degrade. You can see the sticker residue. It's not that sticky right now. I got a lot of that stickiness off, but you can see the residue there. So I got to kind of chemically wipe off whatever's there. But right as of now, it's not a big deal. Probably start accumulating dust. So we want to keep this in the bag and board. Again, square bound book, really clean spine or binding. It comes into focus. There we go. Very clean. No bends or anything. I think I checked the back yesterday when I got the book a couple days ago. A little bit of a stress think it was opened on that back part, but the corners again are tight. Corners are very tight. Looking really good. Yeah. Again, the condition of this book is just very surprising. Because again, it was sitting there exposed with a sticker on it. So we got home, put it in a nice bag and board, got the sticker off, and wait till you see this like beautiful John Byrne artwork in this book. Colonial Clark Kent there, Colonial Perry White. This is, I think, the forefathers die in this one. The death of like Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, all the forefathers. And it's a really nice book. And it ends with Kal-El dying, actually. He has powers, but he doesn't have like the full strength Superman powers. He's kind of like, been, there's like multiple, like has a lot of human blood in him. So he's not as strong as like a full-blooded Kryptonian would be. And it's just, really cool John Byrne. And then there's this like, again, he dies in this one. And then there's this Dennis Janke art in the back. Again, for a quarter, I will gladly have this in my collection for the John Byrne with the Mike Mignola cover. What's interesting is like John Byrne, he left Marvel for DC because he had, I guess, the culture at DC, Marvel was pretty toxic. You hear that a lot, and it seems to be stemming from, I think, the Jim Shooter days, right? Seems to be a consensus that the way that Marvel was trained, the way the Marvel way had evolved wasn't vibing well for the creators. Oh wait, we got one more book to grade. And I'm just gonna, but I do want to show you the interior, so we gotta go back down. You gotta go back downtown. Here we go. But let me finish that thought before we go. So yeah, like, Byrne left a pretty toxic culture there at Marvel for DC. But when he gets to DC, they give him the big book. They give him Superman, a new volume of Superman. He gets to kind of create the modern, I guess, day vision of Superman. Now, I actually really liked Byrne's take on it. I was also like 6th grade, 7th grade reading these books. So for me, just the art alone was carrying the story. I don't have a lot of experience as an adult or anything, but it's basically like Clark Kent working in Metropolis. They're kind of setting the foundation of all the characters in Superman's sphere and just introducing them in a more modern take. And in fact, adding sort of a more modern spin on the destruction of Krypton, his Kryptonian parents, and how he makes it. And it's all essentially the same, but just details here and there are different. Um, and I know a lot of people have issue with it, but I thought it was brilliant. Um, but anyway, I guess there was somewhat of a backlash to Byrne Superman, and I think that weighed heavily on Byrne because you have this tremendous. You come in, you've done so much in your career, and you just really think, okay, I'm here, DC. They've given me the big boy book to work on, and I'm really gonna just like have the success I had with like X-Men, Fantastic, all the previous stuff I did. I'm just gonna continue to roll with it. And it was not well received, and yeah, it just like anyway, they couldn't go back. They kind of introduced this whole new modern take on it, but it eventually evolved into the Action Comics and the Superman comics that we know today. And again, in hindsight, it wasn't that big of a, I think the stories are great. He just tweaked stuff here and there, but the the tried and true sort of traditionalists, I guess, had an issue with it. Um, so I mean, I'm a tried and true traditionalist as well. Um, and again, his modern take on it wasn't all that, to me, disturbing. I don't think he messed with the formula to the point where it got to be like, no, you got to stop. But again, I was in seventh grade. What do I know in seventh grade? But I liked it. I've gone back and read it now, and again, my adult eye is a little bit more, I guess, discerning. Um, Definitely, it was character driven. It's not There wasn't a lot of action or anything. Um, I think maybe that's part of the reason why maybe fans or some people didn't take to it, because when you're comparing it to the Batman of that era, Batman was just so driven by uh, sort of macabre and dark and you know action, events that were just driven with a lot of action and energy. Whereas like you know the Superman stories are um, kind of like I felt like it was like sort of a slow take on sort of a like he took a slow kind of approach um, in sort of a fast-paced metropolis, and maybe that like maybe the pacing could have been a little better, but um, it for me it worked. And again, I love Byrne's writing. I think Byrne doesn't get enough credit for um, his writing. He's just a brilliant comic book creator. Um, I would have liked him just seen him do writing and have other artists, tell the story. But he's just so talented doing it all himself. It's kind of what you're gonna get. Although Kupperberg helped him on this particular issue, you got an Action Comics run where he's just like doing everything on the book. So that's really great to see. All right, enough blathering. Let's get to some grading. All right, so this is our last book. It's our 300th Jim Lee book. Excuse me. So many great creators on this one. This is really glossy. It's got one of those like nice thicker, it's not cardstock, but it's just like this thicker quality paper. for the cover. So yeah, I mean, it's flawless looking. I think you got maybe a little bit of a, I'm just trying to feel it out. No, it's pretty smooth. I don't feel any spine ticks or anything. Just that maybe a little bit of a, like a stress line right there. You can kind of see it. My finger's pointing. A little bit of stress line. Nothing color breaking, but a little bit of a stress line there. There's a little bit of a dinged corner here. A little bit of a ding. I'm sure I could press out. What's the back look like? Yeah, the back's really clean. Gee, these late 2000 books are just so high quality in terms of the materials they used. Again, sharp corners. Just, yeah, looks fabulous. Looks fabulous. All right, so let's take a look at some of this interior artwork, shall we? And I'm just gonna see here. I think the issue is I need to raise the book. I need to raise the camera because we had more books. Just raise it higher. There we go. There we go. That works a lot better. All right, that's gonna help things out a lot. Then I can just, everything's in focus. You can kind of see, yeah, there we go. So just angling the camera up higher is gonna do a lot of good. All right, well, that's a big fix. All right, so let's take a look at some of this artwork here. We start off with Jim Lee. Jim Lee starts us off with this great, flash page here, splash page. Robin. So, Superboy and Robin. And then we just get a lot of, again, just different artists working on different sections of the book. And I'll get some ads. Yeah, this is, who's that? That I want to say is Brian. Is it Brian Vaughn? All right. Yeah, I mean, the Jim Lee is that splash page, and then kind of transitions into, ooh, what's this? You got a chunk missing out of the book. That's not good. What is this? No. Okay, so we got a page that's popped out here. And something leads me to believe that maybe there might have been enough cards in this book, and someone popped out the cards as well, which means it would be an incomplete book. That kind of sucks. Oh well. I mean, we could go to the trouble of like restapling the book, but yeah, that's a bummer. This page right here. It's actually, no, we're, how does this work? I feel like it's just out of place. It's like it needs to be You know what I mean? It's like that is weird. It's not the centerfold that popped out. Like I gotta find it. It might be an extra page. Let's see if I can find this exact page. I'm not seeing it there. No, yeah, it's missing that page. It's weird. It's like the center part of the book. Okay, so we're going to find the center fold. This is the center fold. Those are the staples. And this, it's weird. I guess this would fit right there. And this should be, see, like there should be a page. I feel like there's like there might be 2 or 3 pages missing. Not just one. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, that's really disappointing. Yeah, it just kind of ripped out of there. That's a bummer. Well, our 300th book is a little bit of a incomplete book. It might have a page missing, and it seems to have a page detached. So it's nothing we'd ever get graded. But this will just end up being a cool addition to like an incomplete addition to the collection, just essentially. Don't mind that. We've got books with bigger issues than that in our collection, so that's not gonna, again, we paid 50 cents for it. I'm not gonna complain about detached midsection of the book. I'm hoping I'm hoping it's a complete book, even with a detachment. But it looks like we may be missing maybe a few potential of 1 to 2 pages of the book, which sucks. It's not good. But yeah, awesome book nonetheless. The Jim Lee page is intact. The Jim Lee splash page there. First thing you see. Well, it's the second thing you see in the book. So really pleased with that. All right. So I am going to Sten Brothers tomorrow. There's a book there we didn't pick up last time, but it's been weighing on me, and I'm just like, I want to go back there and pick it up. So maybe I might come back on tomorrow and just do a 1 book haul. Just show that book off that we got. It's a $5 book. So it'll be a 1 book one $5 book haul. But let me know what you think of this haul. I think we did pretty good. Apart from this disappointment. Condition wise, I think everything, like this is missing a little chunk out of the book. That's fine. But it is, this newsstand is a beauty. It's really good. Really good pickup there. And again, this one, it's our high grade copy of this now. So that was a great pickup. Yeah, let me know what you think of this. Again, about 40 cents per book on this one. I could have easily spent like $12 on 2 books, or sorry, $13 on 2 books today at Mill Geek. I may go back and get those issues. Um, one was one one is like gonna weigh on me, and I may go and pick that one up, but I just couldn't bring myself to getting it because like it's not the only reason I get it is because it's like it's a high valued sort of key book because of its cover, but it's not an artist I mean I like the artist. Well, I mean, I'll just tell you what it is. It's the Gambit and Rogue Kiss cover, X-Men 24, and that great. Russ had it for a great price there, and it was $5. And I was just like, it's probably VF condition, VF plus. And I kind of had it with all this stuff to get, and I'm just like, yeah, but I'd rather spend the $5 on the other book I want to get at Stren Brothers. So I just kind of like talked myself out of it. And I figured, that book, there's a lot of copies of that book. I could probably find it for $1 or so at some point. And it's not a book I like really terribly need. There's another $5 book there I wanted to get, but it wasn't a newsstand. So I was just like, rather than a really high grade direct, I don't mind having like a mid grade newsstand, to be honest. I'd rather the newsstand on that book. If I could get a high grade newsstand, even better. But so I just kind of said, there's a lot of copies of that book as well. We're going to just not get those. But had I gotten those two books would have put me out an additional $13. So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to pay $3 for 6 books. And we just ended at $3 at Mill Geek. So extremely pleased with that. And now I've got the high grade copy of this in here. Again, we've got 302 Jim Lee books in the collection now. That's I think for me a reason to celebrate. I started this sort of journey a couple years ago, really fueled by my love for Jim Lee and all the books during that era. And it's grown now to 300 books. So just, I can't just, it's just been a labor of, real labor of love to get to 300 Jim Lee books. And we're still going. I kind of have put I'm potentially putting a cap on Jim Lee books at 500. But we'll see, because I do want to be able to collect. I want to be able to collect other things as well, and not just, if I'm trying to pick up every Jim Lee book, it's just going to be, first, something really difficult to do. Second, not enough space. And third, there's a lot of Jim Lee stuff that, like that C23, we added it, but it doesn't feel like one of his books. So just trying to be mindful of not just picking up every little A, B, C, D cover he does on a run, but really be thoughtful of, did you do some interior work on it? The actual artwork that he did on it, does it, is it something that we connect with and we really enjoy? All these things like factor in. And definitely a book like this, with its detached page and everything, it's just great to see Jim Lee and all these artists, just at least Jim Lee credited on a Michael Turner cover. That alone just makes it really special. But got all these artists working on it. I just love issues like this. So there is an A cover to this. This is the B cover. The A cover is Michael Turner as well. So we may go after that one too, just to have both covers. But we're not gonna, again, gonna try to keep everything in the 50-cent range. And that's why I love going to Mill Geek and digging in 50-cent bins, because we always find stuff we really like and highly value, like this for 50 cents. That's a no-brainer. This for 50 cents at newsstand. It's a no-brainer. So you get little wins like that. Again, $3.50 for 9 books. I'd say most of these are core PC books. These two aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. Including this one. And don't mind having multiples of stuff like this. So all in all, a good haul. All in all, a good haul. All right. What's been going on? I guess the talk of the town is still X-Men 97. I think we're on episode 6 now, and people are still really liking it, and everybody's curious to see what's going to happen at the end of the season. I'm sure they're going to end on some kind of cliffhanger, leave us hanging, probably drop some big details, which is pretty cool. And what was really cool today was a lot of people were in Mill Geek this afternoon. I would say there's maybe 7 people in there when I went in. Usually it's just me and maybe one other or 2 other people, but today there were a lot of people in there. And what was interesting was a lot of people were talking about X-Men 97 and the how it's placing the focus back on these 90s X-Men books, or these late 80s, early 90s X-Men books. And I mean, I think a lot of, X-Men has always been a popular title, just people are gonna go out and hunt Uncanny X-Men, regardless if there's a TV show or not. But I've got to say, I think what you're seeing now is, because for a long time it's just been sort of this staple of comic book collecting. You got a lot of people just kind of not focused on X-Men. They're just kind of, they like X-Men. They probably have a bunch of X-Men books in their collection already, but you know what I mean? They weren't focused on picking books up. Um, but now it's like you got people probably don't collect X-Men wanting to collect X-Men now. So it's kind of brought this refocus back on that title, which is great. Um, Love to see stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, there hasn't been much. There hasn't been that much comic book related stuff, I guess, to talk about. Um, it looks like yeah, a lot of the it's just a lot of X-Men stuff right now trending. And the nice thing about all the X-Men stuff trending is like I already have most of what's trending. I mean, outside of that Dazzler issue, which I'm not going to get. I have no interest. I mean, I'll get it at some point, but not now. It's just too too big of a book right now to like want to pick up. So when it comes back down to earth, or even if it doesn't come back down to earth, we'll just pick it up. Um, there's no urgency or we're not prioritizing that book at all. I'd rather pick up a gajillion other books than that one. Um, I gotta say, I just really liked a lot of what I picked up recently. So 2024 is turning out to be a pretty good year in terms of pickups. And the great thing about what we're picking up is we're not spending a lot. In fact, we're spending probably less this year than we've ever spent in previous years, which is really weird to think about because actually I shouldn't say less because I I'd say I'm paying more per book only because we're not going to Jeff's anymore. Jeff had the quarter bins, so we picked up a lot of quarter bin books. But that's kind of run dry. But 50 cents is, I think, kind of right around a good, a good price to pick up books as well. Um, and the nice thing about Russ's, the condition of like Jeff's 25-cent bins, the books were in there raw. Some of them just weren't in great shape. So you'd pull a book, but it'd be like mid-grade. Very little high-grade stuff came out of there. But like Russ's, you could pick out a lot of this stuff. Like this is high grade, right? This is bordering on high grade. It might, if it didn't have that crease in the back there. High grade. High grade if it wasn't incomplete. High grade. And just a lot of high grade stuff there. So I just really feel like like Russ's bins have a lot of value for what you can dig and find. And that's it. I don't really have much else. There's nothing, in terms of I think Tron's coming back. They're going to do another Tron film, which I'm excited for. I thought that the Tron film from the was it 2008 or 2009 when it came out? 2010 was it? I thought that was really good. It was really well. The story was good. I mean, the end got a little weird, but everything leading up to the reunion with Flynn um, was awesome. Um, so I'm just really excited to see what they're going to do with this new other Tron movie. Tron was another one of those movies. So like, um, I told you, Superman was a movie that had a tremendous influence on me. But Tron also, like Tron, I went to go see that with my best friend. His mom took us to see Tron, and I just remember being like, the audio in the theater. It was like you had just like sort of normal audio, but then when it got to, when you get went into that digital environment, it was really sort of like jarring and loud. I just remember the sound like kind of being, kind of got me scared on some of those scenes. Um, and then just being like wowed by some of those like the disc fighting and yeah, it was just great stuff. The light cycles. And you go back and watch it now and it just seems so like the digital because you got to realize it's the first time in movies they used computer animation CG graphics. Tron is the first CG graphic film. Don't you forget that. And it's really hokey, uh, but at the same time, like it's for that era, it was so innovative, and at the time, it looked really sleek and futuristic and all that. But you go back and look at it now, it just looks like a bad like video game, right? But again, great acting, great script, great movie all around, and again, when they made that remake, I was super excited because I love Tron. They didn't do anything with Tron after that. I loved the video game. The video game was super cool. Um, just everything about Tron from that period was really cool. And then fast forward to like 30 years later, and they come out with this movie, highly stylized, great, you know, um, I would say great, you know, CG, computer graphics, special effects in that movie. And I still like that movie. I think that movie, I don't know, for whatever reason, people didn't like it, but I loved it. Um, but I know I'll probably like the next one too. So I'm just super stoked about Tron. Um, what else? Yeah, again, I'm gonna stop by Stem Brothers tomorrow and pick up one book and probably do some more grading tomorrow. So, another thing I want to promote. We're gonna May's coming up, and May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So we're gonna have a lot of people from the Asian American comic book community. Let's just put it that way. We're gonna have a lot of community members and have a few create. We've reached out to a lot of creators, and we'll just see who ends up coming on the show. But even if we don't get too many creators, we're going to have a lot of just collectors and people probably in the community who are Asian. We're going to have them on the show and just catch up or get to know them. So it should be a good time. And if you're an Asian American or even Asian comic book community member or creator, please just reach out to me and Namanyang on either Instagram or YouTube. Just message us. We'd love to connect with you and have you on. So we kind of reach out to a lot of people, but there's obviously community members out there whom we probably haven't connected with at some level. So This is just a great opportunity for us to get to know you, and we just want to connect with you and share that love of comic books and bond that we have in the Asian American community with everyone. So just kind of show our diversity, show our um, how different and how we all share the passion for this hobby as well. But yeah, we got some cool creators coming on the show as well. So just gonna not gonna reveal who they are, but just know we got some creators. We always have a couple cool creators every year, so this year's gonna be no different. And just look forward to that. All right, well, I think that does it for me. I'm just gonna call it a night, and again, added 300 Jim Lee book to the collection, and very stoked about that. So thanks for watching. You know, thanks for just being a part of my weekly, you know, I'm not always sharing comic book hauls. Sometimes I'm just grading books, but you stop by and check in. Uh, it's always nice. I just feel connected to everybody, and feels like I'm not doing just this for myself. Really, I'm doing it to just share with you guys. Like, here's my collection. Here's who I am, and so when you take time to kind of uh, you know uh, pay attention to that, I just feel really honored to that you would stop by and connect that way. So have a good night, everybody, and enjoy the comic books we'll talk about.